I just want to pop on here real quick and give you guys kind of an update what's going on. Morning to everybody, first off. Actually, I haven't been to bed yet. Teresa, there you go. How you doing? Hadn't seen you in here in a couple. Yeah. Knowledge 2020, good to see you. Joseph, good to see you. Hummingbird. Arizona Raven, good to see you here. Susan, hey. Marie Davis, good to see you. Okay, guys. Yeah, just like I was talking about my live stream earlier this evening, or last night in the morning, I guess you could call it. What's up, Jessica? I was telling you guys the possibility of us actually getting into a geomagnetic storm, and nobody actually was even talking about this. I was just watching things, and that's kind of what I thought was going to happen, and I mentioned that, and it actually did. It is in geomagnetic storm level now. Now, it is very, very minor right now, okay? If these conditions continue, it definitely could get pushed up. That's what I would say to all that, because, we really just don't know how strong the solar wind is until it gets close to us, because of the, we don't know how dense or how fast it's moving exactly until it hits our detectors. Okay, we can kind of guess. There are some markers that they can use and kind of, map that out a little bit, but it's not entirely accurate all the time. What's different about this time is that literally nobody was saying anything about a geomagnetic storm. Except for me. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh gosh, I was right, all that. I'm just saying that this was kind of unexpected. That's why I say this. I was mentioning it to you guys in my last live stream because I thought it was a pretty strong possibility because of the way things were ramping up, and it was sticking around. For the past couple days in my past few live streams, I've been showing you guys the magnetosphere reacting to something that, they really couldn't say where it was coming from. It could have been the beginnings of a solar storm of some sort. This is a solar wind stream, but they did kind of say that we was going to get some solar wind from it, possibility of it, but they didn't say how strong. Nobody even said the word geomagnetic storm except for me. So with that being said, that does lend to how a little bit unexpected situation going on. So we're just going to jump into it here. I hope to keep this one short. You know how that goes sometimes. Whenever I say that, usually it ends up being really, really long. But we'll start here with this little update here on the Schumann. I showed this earlier tonight also. Nothing's really changed. We are seeing some, spiking and all that. And again, you see all this weird looking repetitive signatures, like hash marks crossing over, kind of like wave looking thing. Guys, I don't think that that's anything other than like just a signature on this tool. I don't think it's actually producing a frequency like that. It's my opinion. Others can hold different opinion, but that's mine. Just it's too repetitive. It lasts for way too long, staying perfectly repetitive like that. Most definitely, it's not natural if it is an actual signature. It can't be, in my opinion, because they take readings, guys, and I haven't said this in a minute, but they take readings for this thing not just in one location. It's a multiple location data collection, and they put it in, all of those stations get put in to this model, and it basically takes an average. Okay, so with that average, what it's doing, and then this is what we're seeing here, is that average. So, take that for what it's worth. Again, people are going to have different opinions on this, and that's okay. So, let's go over here and look at this. Now, when we look at the Space Weather Prediction Center, obviously it says G1. It's a minor storm. This is the first thing you'll see when you come over to this page. And notice that before we get any further with that, I need to increase my mouse size. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so you got the G level 1 storm, and you know the X-ray flux didn't hardly move. It moved a little bit here, and that's actually what pushed us, started getting us up into this. Okay, we were already doing some solar wind back here. It almost hit a couple times back here. And with that being like that, plus the addition of that little bit of a solar flare that we got, I was saying, you know, earlier this evening that there was a possibility we could bump up into storm level, and we actually did. That's, in my opinion, that's what happened. With the increased solar solar wind at the same time. I'll show you this real quick. You see how I showed you guys this coronal hole earlier, and even from just talking to you guys earlier, this thing is grown. Now there is a little bit of the parallax effect going on here. Okay, when this thing could have been roughly this size over here, it just looks smaller because of the parallax effect. Things on a sphere will look smaller if you're looking dead at the sphere. It'll look smaller around the edges, but the size is actually the same. But on this one, this does look like it did grow. There's a little parallax there, but I don't think it's the majority of this. So this one is growing. I do, like I said, it is connected to the northern coronal hole. All right, it's stretching down almost all the way to the equator of the sun now. In my opinion, we're most certainly going to connect to this if we ain't already doing so. This up here and this one here is probably what we're, you know, in the next day or so, that energy will be here. So it could be even this one. There was a coronal hole that did kind of rotate off. It was pretty small, but this is yeah, it's a little bit more active than what even I was thinking, right? So here's the ACE data, and again, guys, remember I showed you guys what the BZ was. Remember, whenever it's in negative, it means the door's open a little bit further. So what you're seeing there, it is in the negative, and it's open pretty wide here. Look at this. It's down to a -10. So that, you know, and that's you know, pretty much what we would expect with a solar wind stream like we're seeing. Okay, when it is in that negative position, the door's open, more energy flies off the sun. I'm glad I came across that definition, because it really does help me explain it to you guys a lot easier than what I was trying to in the past. You can just simply remember, if it's in the negative, the red line here, that the chances of more energy coming from the sun is greater. Okay, it's been down in the negatives the whole time here. Okay, the closer both of these lines come to the middle, the less activity or less energy that we would possibly see, at least judging by that data point. Now the secondary data points we look at after that would be the density, and this is where it gets specific. This is like an overall energy conversation. This is down specifically to density in different parts of the solar wind, and you know, solar wind speed and temperature. So you can see where it jumped up. Now look, see this? That's up to 600 now. Earlier tonight, during my last stream, that was sitting at 500. So they increased that because they were getting readings. Look, it's up here, and it seems to be staying up here pretty good, like, guys. We'll have to wait and see if we stay in storm level. There's a good possibility we will. I don't know if we're going to jump up any higher right now. This would have to probably do a little bit more to achieve that. Or the density could rise. Same kind of thing. Or if we get another flare. If we get another flare fired at us, we most certainly will probably jump up another level, or even two. You know, once we get into storm level, it's pretty easy to ratchet up after that, because it just means that everything's already juiced up and it doesn't take a whole lot to push us over the edge. So here is the Enlil model, and again, guys, I was showing you guys this before, and I said, you know, like our weather, this changes from day to day, and if it was me, I would take from the, you know, 2 days out here and just throw that away and just look at these, because what's happening here, right here, we're about right here in time. Okay, the green line is the conditions at Earth. What's behind it is actual historic data. This is actually what happened. Okay, it shows you 2 days behind us by the data collection that the tool did, right? So from here, this point forward is nothing more than a prediction. So predictions change when new data is added. So, but anyway, you look here, it's up to 700 here, and it was earlier tonight too. This is still at 10. Now, you know, let me say this too. You see how this kind of ramped up? See the size of that? If this range over here was 2 to 15, this would not look as steep. It would be almost like this. Okay, because this 10 would be down here. So the line would become more flattened. You know, we've all heard about flattening the line, right? That's one of the main phrases we've been hearing since all this global illness stuff has been going on. So, what can we expect? Well, again, here you go. We'll take a look at this. And this has even changed since earlier I showed it to you guys. So this is why I'm saying that I don't think anybody really expected us to get into storm level. And we did. And it could be just from the intense solar wind. But we could also have had other issues, like that flare that added extra to us. Or a stealth solar storm that we didn't see. Now remember, I was showing you guys that filament too that leaked out there. Okay? Now you see when it does that, you can guarantee that somebody's getting some good aurora pictures. Also, remember, we were talking about the, I think it's called the McPherson effect or something like that, with the cracks in the magnetic field. This is that season for that, I guess. The way that it was explained. I tell you what, we'll just go find out what their if it's still there that way. It's called the Russell-McPherson effect. Okay, cracks in the in the magnetosphere. So, that's what's going on now. This here is now an official sunspot. Okay, remember, I was showing it to you guys earlier. When it flared earlier, it looked like it was in a decay cycle. But guess what happened? Just like the sun does all the time, it's very unexpected. It did not decay. It actually started producing really good signatures of a sunspot. So it's broke that stretch of, I think, 34 or 35 days without sunspots on this side. You see right here where it says current stretch of days 0. So that means that it picked up a sunspot right here. I guess, I'm not sure if it'll let me, yeah, there it is. So the number of it's 2773. Now this thing was actually active on the backside of the sun too. That's how long this thing has been on the sun. We've seen sunspots, rotate around 2 or 3 times before they decay. So, if this thing holds strong, it could go through and it could come back around and get us again. Who knows? We just don't know. So, anyway. Now, again, the asteroid thing, I get that everybody is really kind of keen on that because it is probably one of the biggest fears that most of us have. And I hate using that word fear. I guess I should say concern that something like that would happen. And for me, guys, it's the concern comes from not the fact that something like this could be coming. It's the fact that they're never ever going to tell us if they know it is. They're not going to tell us. So, what's going to end up happening if something like that actually was going to affect us? You would see something pop up on this chart, and it may not even pop up here, because it would be some sort of an amateur person in their backyard probably with a big telescope that sees it. Alright? And when they see it, they don't go to the proper channels and take it and show it to them. They just bring it out to the world. That would be the only way we're ever going to know something like that's coming to us. Because if they know it's coming to us, they're going to do anything and everything they can to hide it. Because you can imagine the mass panic that would happen. But guess what? Here in our community, that panic wouldn't be happening because we're already talking about it. that shock factor is now gone. The fact that we're able to have discussions like this lets us achieve a better decision making at that time. So I know that when I get like a knee-jerk reaction because either I'm scared or shocked, the decisions I make in that few seconds aren't ever the right ones usually. Usually ends up being bad, you know. This is the 193 angstrom. I wanted to show you guys this too. I kind of showed it to you a minute ago over on Space Weather, but I think on this one, they actually take some of the light out of this. They kind of darken it up a little bit because it doesn't look the same brightness overall. It's the 193. If we go look at the 193 on the other site, which would be, well, I'll show that to you here in a few minutes. But anyway, here's Space Weather again. And yes, we're going to keep watching this. This is actually pretty cool the way they redesigned this down here. This didn't used to be like this. You see what it's doing there, right? It's giving you a red, blue, and green dot. And it's telling you in measurement there, millivolts I think is what that is. If I could be wrong on that. But it's telling you from GOES 16. That's the satellite it's using. That's why, you know, see this big radio blackout over here? They took GOES 13 and 14, I believe, offline last year, late in the year. Well, about halfway through. And they are using GOES 16 pretty much for this reason. That's it. So we're not getting the coverage because when we were using two or three different satellites, we didn't have this blackout spot so long because the other satellites were in a position it could catch readings and collect data. Now it's not the case. They're only using one satellite for this. That in itself is kind of I thought it was kind of weird. Why go backwards in your data collection by shrinking it down in half by eliminating the use of a satellite? Now I get that those satellites they've actually been put into reserve. They're not active at all. Okay, they're still flying around out there. They can activate them anytime they want, but they consider them dead at this point. You know, they don't really use them for anything. So we are in this level here. Let's look at this. This is actually what I just kind of popped on my phone earlier, just about an hour ago, and I popped this on here because I just check it every so often, and this thing was lighting up. So I knew at that point something was going on. So that's what we'll do. We'll watch this for a second. And obviously it's going to be a little bit more intense because we are having a geomagnetic storm, guys. Okay? And we've seen the beginnings of that earlier tonight in my other stream. So that's what you're seeing. It's nothing like, again, nothing catastrophic. Okay, it's just something that we're seeing, we're watching, and this is showing the effects of space weather, or the possibilities of the effects of space weather on our electrical grid, unnatural electronic sources like wire, transformers, all the above there, right? And it's just basically giving you kind of the chance of something happening, how it could affect. It ain't saying that it is, all right? But a good marker for that, if I can find it here, is right here. Okay, this is a national power outage map. Mr. MBV3 has a link to this on his page, so I would go over and check it out if you wanted to get to this, or you can just simply go to poweroutage.us. It's that simple. This is a very accurate site, I found, anyway. I trust it. They take, data from all different carriers, like, your cable carriers and electric carriers and all that, and they put it all into one spot, and they give you, like over here, top areas by outage. California right now, there's 11,500. Alabama, Louisiana, Minnesota, and so on and so forth, right? Right now, this is really only the significant thing going on over here, and it's probably related to the wildfires. Okay, that would be my guess. We don't have any like massive hurricanes going on right now that would be causing power outage. We're seeing flooding in certain areas from Tropical Storm Beta, just coming right behind the other hurricane that hit last week. So that is going on too, but it's not causing any power outages. If we looked at this like 3 or 4 days ago, if you guys remember, Louisiana was red or orange. Maybe it was orange. It might have been red. It was red, I know, for a minute. So there's that. Now here's our our magnetosphere, and I was showing you guys these tools earlier. And remember, I was showing you guys how they were reacting, and nothing's changed as far as reaction. It's just we're seeing more. Okay, so as you can see that. So we're going forward here. Remember, the sun's over here to the right. Always watch the direction that this stuff is moving. Okay, if you get something like right in here moving towards the Earth, that means it's going against the solar wind. It's overcoming that solar wind, which is, inside our magnetosphere, it's easier for it to do so because we're blocking some of it here. Okay, so the wind itself from the solar wind isn't as strong back here against these because our magnetosphere itself is blocking some of that. But even at that, we really shouldn't see a whole lot of charged particles coming this way. That's the wrong way. So if we take it and we just grab it, we can watch. So you can see how we're just, again, looks like we're kind of discharging out there. I would question that at this point, though, because we are getting activity from the front. Okay, that makes perfect sense when we get hit here that you would see more stuff here getting flushed out. I mean, it's just what happens. But you're seeing more spirals too here. So there's quite a bit of energy, hanging around there. And it's inside our satellite line, which we see quite a bit when we're under a geomagnetic storm. So there's that. Now that's a pretty intense signature there. And again, there you go to the reds. And we're going to have to watch this because this isn't over yet. So how fast is the solar wind moving? Well, we'll look at this map here, or graph tool, I guess, if you want to get technical about it. That's kind of really what we're looking at. So this is the wind speed. And again, I question how accurate this one is. I trust the A static graph a lot more than I trust this, because we see excessively high numbers here that if we actually truly were getting those kinds of numbers, I would think it would affect us a lot different. But I could be wrong on that too. So you're going to see around the Earth, you're going to see the red just kind of pulsate and move, come, go, right? It's gone there. Within just a few minutes, it's back up intense again. And I'm watching the speed up there as I'm moving this through. And I didn't see much over like 700, like right there. Well, it was 657, and then the next one was 700, I think. 714 or something like that. Maybe it went the other way. But, so that's what we're seeing right now. And that is kind of a short little, reason on what's going on. But it's still happening, right? So let's check out the earthquake, because this is something that we need to pay attention to when we're getting solar weather. All right? Well, we need to pay attention to this all the time anyway, but more so when we're getting these solar storms. And I'm not seeing really a whole lot of like shockingly, oh my gosh, why we're having earthquakes there, or my gosh, that was a big one, that kind of thing. That's a really, really small one in California. That's to be expected. They live with those things constantly. We don't like seeing them here in Washington, off the coast of Washington, Oregon, and off the southern Canada here, because the Cascadia subduction zone's right there. It always puts people's nerves like out there when that happens, especially when we get big ones here. Because guys, and I've said this 100 times, when this thing decides it wants to slip, it really makes me sick to know that if that happens, there's going to be massive amounts of people that die right here. There'd be no way to stop it. It's going to be such a big tidal wave, and the water's going to rush in that, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of theories on this, how far it will go, where will it stop, what will stop it. Well, I can tell you this, if the Rocky Mountains weren't here, it would probably go a little bit further in. But, you know, like I said, and I kind of make a joke about this, and maybe I shouldn't joke about something this serious, but, you know, beachfront property in Arizona could become reality when this thing decides it wants to go. So, you know, take that for what it's worth, but again, I'm not the only one that shares that opinion. There's a lot of science behind it. There's a lot of things, a lot of studies, a lot of peer-reviewed papers that have been written on this thing. It's been well studied, okay? Not to mention that right up here, guys, you know, you got the Cascadia Subduction Zone, then you got Yellowstone right over here. You know, super volcano. So, I mean, it's just juiced, man. There's so many things that could be going on there. Now, I know this is kind of like, we don't see this very often. We do see it once in a while. This is up in the North Pole. It's in the Arctic Circle, guys. Look at that. It's a 4.5, too. It's not a small one. That just happened at the turn of the day there. Well, about 6.5 hours ago. So, is there anything else I need to show you guys? Let's find out here. I guess we could take a look at seeds real quick. I showed you guys that little flare that was going on there. I'm not seeing a whole lot right now. Okay. And what? Let me do this too. Let me back that. Let's check out stereo A. I'm not seeing a whole lot here either. I am seeing something back here that looks like it might have fired off the backside. It's not nothing big though. Nothing to be too concerned about. And you got that again, like I said. Yeah, so I mean, we just got to keep our head on a swivel. That is what's actually happening right now. We are in geomagnetic storm levels, guys. It'll be interesting to see if it hangs on or not, or might even get bigger. Who knows? Oh, that's something I was gonna do. Let me do this. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. This I'll show you guys this real quick. Let me pull the chat up so I can talk to you guys while I'm doing this. Oh, Exile, you in here? Hold on a minute. There you go. What's up, Knowledge 2020? How you doing? Guys, that probably will be one of the last mods I add for a while. I got quite a few now. I appreciate everybody that's been trying to, you know, be a mod or whatever. You know, I'm not saying that it can't happen in the future. If my channel continues to grow and stuff and I get more subscribers, I'll have to have more mods because more people will be in chat. So that's how it kind of goes, I guess. I would love to make everybody that wants to be a mod, but you know, it's not really, you really can't do that because it causes issues. I've learned that from watching other channels. Teresa, how you feeling? You feeling any better? Hey Archives, how you doing? Taylor, how are you? Yeah, I do too. That's okay, Teresa. Hey, listen. You feel how you need to feel, okay? We're going to give you prayers as much as we possibly can. You know. Man, I just don't know what to say yeah. So anyway, Geo 1 storm, which is what we're in right now. This is what we can expect. Oops. That was stupid. So G1 storms occur approximately 1,700 times. These storms can cause weak power grid fluctuations, minor impacts on satellite operations is possible. And it says these storms can have an effect on migratory animals in northern regions. Okay, now that's interesting because we just had an event where a bunch of whales, mass suicide type of thing. I hate using that word because the algorithm's probably going to catch that word. That's all right. So that, yeah. And we've been having some stuff here going on, but it hasn't been that intense until now. So that does affect animals, guys. Okay, where this happened at was actually down in the South Atlantic anomaly. I think is where they said it was at, if I remember right. I could go find the story. Maybe I'll bring it to you in my next stream. But so that that does happen. It affects animals really, really acutely sometimes and very quick because they use magnetics to navigate themselves. It's much like our computers do with GPS and stuff like that. Well, GPS doesn't really use that. The older style, like compasses and things like that, obviously they use magnetics for that. So, yeah. I know everybody likes that song there on the front of my live stream there. It gets, every time I use that song, it gets restricted in certain areas. It doesn't, well, it says it's getting restricted. I don't think it's actually getting restricted. I think what's happening, it says it can't be monetized. So all that means to me is nothing, because I don't monetize my channel. So it can do that all at once. I'm not making any money off that song, and that's probably why they allow you to use it. It came from a group called We3, and they were on AGT. That's where I first heard them. And they actually, the first song I seen that they sung was to their mother that was passing away from cancer, and it was from her point of view. They wrote a song about that, and it was an awesome song too. But that Lifeline song that I used there on the front, I use that because we all feel that way sometimes. We all feel like just saying, screw it, I'm done, later, bye, But we can't do that. And that's why we have songs like that, because it just lets us know that it's okay to feel like that, Your nurse was supposed to call. Are you still in hospice, or are you home, or what's going on, Teresa? You can email me, I would really like to conversate with you through email if you can do that. If you can't, I get it. Here, let me do this. That's my email. Okay. If you want to talk to me or just kind of chat for a minute, that'd be great. We've become more, friends and family here in the chat room. And when somebody's sick or struggling, it is kind of nice to know what's going on, so we can help people like that the best. It worked, Exile. Sometimes you have to log out and log back in. Not you, me. It does take it. Sometimes it'll take a few hours for it to kick in. Here, we'll just do this again real quick. Let me just to double check to make sure that. Okay, so it says you're a moderator now, but you might not be exactly yet. Okay. Okay. Teresa says I'm home, but got hospice services. Oh, it's okay. No, seriously, it's all right. Well, that's I didn't put a link there. That's actually that's just my email. You would have to type that in. You could copy it and then paste it in your browser, or in your email if you needed to. That's okay. I mean, I get it. I just want to, we do care, and it's kind of nice to know what's going on, how you're feeling, and all that. So I don't want to put all that on blast out here in the open. That's kind of my thing. I don't want to do that to people that don't really want that to happen. So that's kind of why I don't. What was up with the earthquake seismos going off yesterday? Yeah, guys, I got a interesting email on that. Hold on 1 second here. That was it was kind of strange. I can't, who emailed that to me? Oh goodness, hold on. I'll find out who emailed that to me in just a second here. Oh yeah, that's right. It was Ricky. Okay. She's one of our mods, and this is what she sent me. Let's where did the pics go? Here? Okay, here they are. Okay. So they were showing this, and I guess this was going on throughout the whole planet, from what I understand from what she was saying. I could be wrong on that, but it started getting seismographs like this. And it all happened right within a couple hours of each other, or at the same time. And I guess it kind of spanned the whole globe. And if you remember, guys, we were getting some activity. Now, it wasn't something that should be causing this kind of thing. I don't know what to make of this. This is, that's like crazy stuff there, along with all this. Now, the ones that I go to, typically all this stuff is just black and white. I'm not sure what site she uses here, or why this is blue and red. It's still showing the same data. It's just different colors. Okay. Yeah, I mean it does look pretty intense, but I don't have any answers for that, guys. Wish I did, but I don't. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. The seismos. Now, we can go here and we can look at the go to the seismograph helioplots. Okay, this is USGS, and we can scroll down and we can look. Now, some of this stuff, well, that was one of the ones that she showed me, and it's still looking like this. So, guys, sometimes they can screw up, but I'm not saying that that's what happened. This is definitely kind of crazy looking. Something was happening, guys. Okay. I think that was at what time? See, that was just a few minutes ago. That's actually going on right now. Now, it's in China. We're not seeing any earthquakes over there. So, you're left to wonder what's kind of going on, right? China. These are all in China right here. And I haven't looked at these enough to really know exactly what I'm looking at and what would be normal. Now, this is on the Philippines, and we did have an earthquake in the Philippines, so that's probably a true signature. But as far as that thing going kind of crazy, and just filling the whole graph, I don't have a good answer for that for you guys. I really don't. I'm sorry. Let me tell you guys this. I 100% always try my best to learn something new. So, you got a Travis McAlvey. Do you have a link? You can put it down in there if you want. That would actually kind of help if you could, Travis. Emergency Management Association channel will explain those graphs, because I would love to learn more about this. Are people going at each other? Really? Come on, guys. I'm not seeing anything here, but who says there's an edge? Oh, are we talking about? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I got you, third. Okay. What he just said right there, I'm not going to say that because it does hit the algorithm. If you guys want to look at third line's word right there, that definitely does cause a lot of issues for people. People are very passionate when they believe that, and they're likely just as passionate on the other side against that. And that's why people argue and go pretty mean pretty quickly. Okay? That's the thing. Here, let me show you something real quick. That you guys will find this interesting. I know you will. I want to show everybody this channel anyway because it is. I've been a subscriber to this channel for like 2 years since it came out. It's called Modern Day Debate, and James is a really good guy. He lets anybody in, Christian, atheist, and they have debates. It's a very neutral platform. So if you guys ever find yourself like arguing with somebody like online and you think you could debate them, you could actually contact James here and he will try to set up a debate. Okay, so that's what's going on. If you see let's just go to the videos and you'll be able to see the people that are in this community here. You'll be able to notice the actual conversations and what the actual topic is and how passionate these people get. I mean, it gets pretty heated sometimes, but he's very fair. James is very fair. So all you have to do is go 4 videos back. Look, there's a FE debate right there. Okay, and let me say this: on the FE side of it, you know, there are people there that are very nice, but then there's other people that are very, very rude, and it's the same on the other side. And that's why I tend to not go to that subject, because even if you simply put your opinion on it out there, you get attacked either way. Somebody there is not going to like what you said, no matter which direction you're for. So you know, those kinds of conversations never get anywhere. That's why this debate format works, because James has the ability to mute one person or the other. You know, he moderates, and he's gotten a lot better, and he's really, really good at what he does now. It's a very professional channel, and if I'm correct, I think he takes all of this money from this channel and he puts it right back into like donating to the poor and stuff. So this is a great channel for you guys to go check out. And again, there's a lot of different topics he touches on here. You can see them. I'm not going to start naming some of these words because, like, you know, in the FE world, this name right here is very big. He's probably the most popular one there, other than, well, I'm not even going to say the names. There's a couple of them there that are very, very popular, and they have conventions and everything else, guys. So, you know, that's what they believe, and they put it out there and all that. And to be honest with you, I don't have a problem with people wanting to put their opinion out there. You know, the biggest issue I have with the FE thing is there is absolutely no working model for it. There is no model that works. They can't get a model to work. You know, when we're talking about the globe Earth, it does. We can predict things. So that's really what my hang up is on it. But, you know, hey, I've been wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to, you know, come at anybody. There's James right there. He's a hoot, man. I'm telling you guys, there's a lot. I mean, they got religious debates on here. There was a BLM debate up here, right here. So they touch all subjects. Look at this conspiracy one. All right, I'm not going to say that because that will definitely hit the algorithm. You know, up here, look. I mean, they're talking. They're going straight into the subjects, man. They're going straight at it right here. No question. So, I actually appreciate that because, you know, hey, what's up? Michelle, how you doing? Yeah. So, here again, here's the seismos right now. I can just look at these and be like, hey, yes, this looks like something might be going on. What I do when I come over here, I'm trying to learn this a little bit better. If I see something crazy, I'll go to that part of the world on the earthquake map and see if anything's going on. If it's not, then I try to dig into it a little bit more and see what's going on. Yeah, knowledge. I mean, there's nothing more. There's nothing better that will stimulate your brain than a good debate that is being respectful but yet challenging each other. It forces us all to be better. You have to know what you're talking about. If you don't, and you walk into a debate like that, you'll be made to look like a fool. And that happens a lot. They call them dumpster fires when that happens. Because that's exactly what it looks like. And at that point, when a person gets, made to look like that, either intentionally or unintentionally, just because they weren't prepared, things get heated. And they start, it gets crazy. I sit back and laugh at it. No matter what the topic is, when people start doing that, I just laugh because it's entertaining, frankly. If it's a very important topic or whatever, and the serious ones, believe it or not, the very, very serious ones, like if you're talking about abortions and stuff like that, they do get kind of heated sometimes, but they seem to be a little bit more respectful because of the subject matter. It is that serious to even people that agree with it or disagree. It is one of those subjects, and there's multiple subjects like that. And anybody that's going to fly off the handle while talking about something like that doesn't need to be talking about it because they're not helping their cause at all. So that's what I would say. Yeah, it is, guys, and that's what I'm saying. That this is why I choose not to talk about FE. Okay, it splits people so bad, it really does. No matter what side you're on, you can't make everybody happy at that point. Not that we ever can, but just to avoid a big subject and a big controversial subject like that, I stick to the stuff that I can show you empirically. You know what I mean? I can just show you an observation. I don't have to try to do mathematic formulas and figure, gyroscopes, laser gyroscopes. There was a guy, I'm not going to say his name, but he actually, the community bought him one of those high-tech ones, and he used it, and it actually picked up a 15-degree movement, which proved that the Earth was rotating. And he was the FE guy. He actually proved the other point. That was kind of damning, in my opinion. But, again, I try not to go down that road. That's a good question, Anna. Thank you for being here and thank you for asking that. Yes, it can. She's asking if it can affect pacemakers, headaches. Heart surgeons and heart departments are now taking in consideration space weather. It just and the Schumann. Okay, they look at that stuff now, and they will do certain things and they won't do certain things under certain conditions. It's becoming, it's becoming an accepted science, guys. There's a lot of studies and stuff on it now. They can't deny it. So, that's what I would say to that. So yeah, you guys got any more questions real quick? Because I do have to get off here here in just a second. So, yeah. Yeah. So, what you got here for me? Please tell Hopi because we are in a pandemic, no evictions are legal. Hey, that's a good thing to be spreading around there. Good idea. Good digging there. Good job. Renai? Is it Renai Dazzle? Or is it... if I butchered that, I apologize. Yeah, guys, Texas Warrior here makes a good point. Yes, Dutch is being, yeah, they're silencing him a little bit, guys. I hate it when that happens. All that means is he's over the target. It just, when they do that to him, it just proves to the world that he's right in what he talks about. Much like what happens a lot of times with the stuff that Scott shows, the stuff that I've shown before. You can definitely tell when you're like exactly over something, because those videos, when you post them, you're going to have issues, and then all of a sudden you do. So you pretty much know beforehand. And, that was a subject, with those beams that were coming down, right? With the forest fires and stuff. Last year, if you remember, a forest fire cannot burn hot enough to do what it did to the metal of those cars. So it had to be something different. There had to be another element involved there for that to happen. So that in itself is highly questionable what the narrative was being pushed, if it was actually like that. I simply don't know. But that's what I would say to that, because it happened 2 years in a row on the West Coast. So you have to try to kind of understand what's going on with that. Yeah, Sin. Yeah, it's been going on since the beginning. And that's, guys, like when we talk about things, we can have this discussion. It's awesome. We're having this discussion and everything, and I like the fact that we can actually have our different opinions and still be cordial to each other. That's what it takes. It really does. Some people call that agreeing to disagree. Sometimes that works that way too, and every so often you'll change somebody's mind. But when somebody is very passionate about a subject, it takes a lot to change their point of view. So getting mad and screaming at that person is not going to help. And that's why I don't think it's productive, which is why I think a debate channel is the proper setting for that, because it allows at least the audience to see what both points of view are in a respectable fashion. So, you know what I mean? I mean, like, I've seen it already, just a few live streams I've done the past couple of weeks here, guys. You guys will go at each other a little bit, even pretty hard sometimes. But at the end of it, you guys are like, hey, it's okay. We're good. And that's what I like. You know what I mean? It's okay to push each other a little bit. It really is. And I've said that a bunch now. Sound like a broken record, I get it. But that's what it is. So, guys, I'll tell you what. Let's look at this one more time. Space weather. It hasn't updated yet. So, the next 3-hour block isn't there yet. Okay? So, yeah. People can't be talked out of an illusion? Yeah. I mean, I see that. But, people have different opinions, too. If we, I guess what I would say, Postman, to that, is to play devil's advocate there, is that, none of us are 100% right on everything. So, that's why I choose, like I was talking about date setting in my last video, that's why I choose not to do those kinds of things, because there's a chance that I can be wrong, no matter if I think I'm 100% right. There's always that chance you can be wrong. So a lot of hey Hilly, how you doing, bud? I was getting ready to log off, man. Sorry. Everybody say hi to Hilly. Go over and check out his channel, guys. He's got a Bible study Saturday at 1. Ain't that right, Hillbilly? Go over and check his channel out. He does a good job over there, guys. Yeah, Teresa, you're right. Yeah. Yep. Casey. Yeah, Casey, that is, yes, that happened, guys. I'm not going to repeat that, but you guys see what that's saying right there? That's how serious this stuff gets sometimes. Okay? So this is why we act the way we do sometimes. That's why you hear me talking in code a little bit. You know, honestly, when I talk like that, I'm really not trying to dodge the algorithm. I'm trying to not put a word out there that's going to do this. Because that's what happens. And I spoke about this a little bit. Oh, you can't see that? Well, let me read it. I'll read it, okay? Everybody knows about it already. It says, yes, it concerns me. You know, Dutch and his wife were shot at a few years ago. This is real, folks. Continue to pray, always. KC, you're 100% right. That happened. Okay? That happened. So, yeah. You need to understand that when we do come out here and we say stuff, there's things that you guys don't know that's happened to me that I'm not even going to speak about. I've already told you about one of the most concerning ones I ever went through was the fact that somebody came on my channel, dropped a comment in my comment section on my video, threatening the life of Mr. MBB3. Why come to my channel and do that? It didn't make it, you know, I guess I used some of his information in that video, but yeah. So, yeah, I don't think Dutch likes conspiracy theories too awful much either. Which is probably kind of why he doesn't step into this this realm of what we're doing here. Good to hear, Carolyn. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, it gets kind of serious sometimes. It really does. So those of us that do these things, you know, we do that with the sacrifice that's involved, and we know that. And that's why we don't complain about it. At least most of us don't. We just move on with what we got, and however it pans out, pans out, you know? Oh, goodness. Yeah, I mean, guys, there's always going to be people out there that just cause trouble to cause trouble. The majority of that, when that happens, it's pretty harmless, but there is a section of it that isn't, okay? And that's what you got to know. Yeah, Travis, he's been really busy. He's concentrating on a business venture he's going through right now that he needed to do, okay? That's what's going on with Scott right now. He's fine. So if anybody was wondering, he's doing good, actually. So, it's just, you know, the whole subject of a troll and this and that, it is, yeah, you know, you wonder. What's that link to, third line? Yes, Sin, you're right there, okay? You guys see what Sin just put in there? That does happen sometimes. Now, that's why I specify when I start talking about stuff like that, if I'm addressing something like this, I'll go after the concept. I don't ever go after the person. The people that are doing it for bad reasons will get personal and go directly at the person. And that's why I have the chat room rules like I have. That's it. That's exactly why. You can't attack anybody. That's my rule, you know. If you do that, let's say you're attacking me, which is fine. I allow that. That's the only attacking I allow, as long as it ain't vulgar. But you're not going to attack anybody else, because that's the only way I can run a chat. You know what I mean? That's the fastest way to get booted. That's for sure. But usually those guys that get booted, they got 12, 15, 20 sock accounts that they just come right back up in here. So it almost doesn't do any good, but you know. So yeah. Guys, I am going to go ahead and end it here, guys. We do have this G1 storm going on here. It's nothing that's going to cause a whole lot of stuff right now, but we'll keep an eye on it. In about an hour or so, it should give us another updated bar here to see where we're at. As far as the wind, see this right here is kind of telling me that things might be quieting down some. Okay. You see this? See how it's starting to dive back down? We're seeing a decline in the density and the wind speed and the temperature. So chances are, and look what the BZ's done. You see this? It's back up towards 0. So the negativity isn't there either. So I would almost bet that... Let's go back here. I would almost bet this next bar is not going to be in storm level. It's probably going to be down here or even down here. Don't quote, I can't say for sure, but just looking at that is kind of what it looks like. So that would be, we want to stay about a 3. That's like perfect conditions, guys. So, well, I hope everybody has a good day. Hillbilly, thank you, buddy. Thanks for coming up in here, Hilly. Thank you, Third. Where is, I think, Knowledge 2020, you're in here too. Yes, thank you. And thank you to everybody that's commented and stuck around here. Thanks for being, for the most part, calm and respectful. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Exiled, thanks for being here, bud. You'll have your wrench in the next video there, I think. You see me make you a mod, so if it doesn't happen, we'll try to fix it. So, anyway, and again, guys, on the mod situation too, I probably will cut it off right there for a while, just to see what happens and see how things go. I'm getting 2 to 3, sometimes 4 mods in here, which is about perfect. Okay. You get much more than that in a chat room. Sometimes the mods will actually start fighting with each other. I've seen that before. It's crazy, but it is what it is. Eventually, once we get a good base here, guys, of moderators. Hey, Della, how you doing? Getting ready to log off. Sorry. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to set up a group chat, and that way we can have discussions about what's going on, or if we have issues, that kind of thing. That's probably the best way to do it. So all right, guys. God bless. Yahuwah saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.